Welcome back to section 4.2, slope of a line. We'll finish off this section today. Today I am learning to find slope of a line using the slope formula and 2 points. We ended the last part of the section by using the slope formula given a table. Now we're going to do it from points. I can appropriately use the slope formula. I can identify the coordinates of 2 points, and I can calculate and interpret the slope from those points. So let's jump right into it. Not a whole lot to go over today. We've already done most of this. Looking back at the slope formula, M. Well, that's slope. Why is M slope and not S? I don't know. I didn't make it. You'll see M quite a bit. You may have seen M last year. No, that was Y equals KX. So M is going to take the place of K that you learned in proportionality last year. So find the slope of the line that passes through 1, 2 and negative 4, 3. Check your solution. So we still have our y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. When we're looking at a graph, always go left to right. Always go left to right. Okay? Except when you're trying to find slope. Here you may want to go backwards. Why? We want x1 and y1 to be positive as much as we can. If we look at our points, we have a negative and a positive, we have a positive and a positive. We want this second number, this y1 and x1, to be positive. So I want R to be my x1 and y1. My x1, y1. Which would make S my x2, y2. So we're just going to plug these points in. x2, y2. Why is this one so unfocused now? Okay. Plug it in. y2 is 3. y1 is 2. x2 is negative 4. x1 is 1. So, when we do the math, what's 3 minus 2? 1. What's negative 4 minus 1? Negative 5. So, when we bring that out, it's negative 1/5. That's all we got going there. Okay. All we have to do is plug in and do the math. Now you can check this by counting it out like we did yesterday, or when we did the first part of the section. We went down 1, so that's negative 1. We didn't have that because we went the other direction. We went right to left instead of left to right. If we'd have gone left to right, we would have gotten negative 1 over 5, which, regardless, doesn't matter. So our rise over run, our rise was negative 1 over our run. How many did we go to the right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Negative divided by a positive is negative. So it's negative 1/5, just like we had before when we. That's why we have to check our answer. I want you to try the check down here at the bottom. Find the slope of the line that passes through negative 3, 2, and 5, negative 4. Use the formula. Try this. Pause the video. Unpause it. when you find your answer? Did you get negative 3 over 4? Well, if you use the formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, if you labeled your points, x1, y1, x2, y2, again, these are just coordinate points, xy, xy. This is the first point they gave us, that's why I called it x1, y1. This is the second point they gave us, that's why it's x2, y2. Fill in the boxes. y2, we said was negative 4. y1, we said was 2. x2, we said was 5. x1, we said was negative 3. We did the math. Negative 4 minus 2 is negative 6. 5 minus negative, so subtracting a negative is the same as adding. So 5 plus 3 is 8. We simplified. Both of these numbers can be divided by 2. So negative 6 divided by 2 is negative 3. 8 divided by 2 is 4. So we have our slope of negative 3 over 4. Two new slopes that we didn't talk about before. We've talked about positive, we've talked about negative. Now we're going to talk about zero and undefined. Any horizontal line, so here we have one going straight across the graph left to right. So any line that goes right to left, straight across, has a slope of 0. Vertical lines, straight up and down, have an undefined slope. What does that mean? If we were to pick any two random points on this line right here, okay? We're going to look at our rise over run. Does this go up at all? No. What's the run? How many to the right did we go? In my case, I went over 3. Depending on the points you chose, it could be 3, 4, 2, 1. Doesn't matter to me. What's 0 divided by 3? Plug it into your calculator. What do you get? You get 0. The way I like to think about this is if there's no money on the table, but there's 3 people there, how much money does each person have? 0. You're all broke. Happens sometimes. How about our undefined over here? What does that mean? Again, I'm going to pick 2 points. Doesn't matter which 2 points you pick along that line. It really doesn't matter. I'm going to do the rise over run again. My rise from point to point is 3. My run, my left to right, is 0. What is 3 divided by 0? Again, if you don't know, plug it in your calculator. When you plug it in your calculator, you're going to get an error, because this does not exist. The way I like to think about this one, there's $3 on the table, but no one is there to get it. How much money does each person get? Well, that scenario doesn't exist because someone's always going to pick up the money. So it doesn't make any sense that there's $3 on the table with no one there. Who put the money there? The Magic Money Fairy? If you know the Magic Money Fairy, I'd love to meet him. Alright, so just a couple more problems right now using that slope formula to find the slope between these 2 points. you're going to use the slope formula each time. So m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Label your points. This is the first one they give you, so that's my x1, y1. This is the second point they give me, so that's my x2, y2. Fill in the boxes. There's no boxes right now, I know, but fill it in. y2 is 5 minus y1 is 5. x2 is 2 minus x1 is negative 4. What's 5 minus 5? 0. Subtracting a negative is the same as adding. So 2 plus 4 is 6. What is 0 divided by 6? 0. So this is a zero slope graph, which means it's horizontal. I want you to try example 6 down here at the bottom. Pause it, see what you get. Find, if you labeled your points correctly, you should have 8 minus 3 on top. You should have negative 2 minus negative 2 on the bottom. Subtracting a negative is the same as adding, so negative 2 plus 2 gives us 0. Anytime you have 0 on the bottom, you're going to go straight to undefined. Problems today, deal with all this using that slope formula over and over again. You're going to need to be able to use this. If you can use this formula, your life's going to be a lot easier. If you have any questions, make sure you're asking. Good luck on your work.